Hi, my name is Justin, NK Ghostreader, and today I am doing a review of the book Two Eleanors of Henry III, the Lives of Eleanor of Provence and Eleanor de Montfort. This was published by Pen and Sword. This came out on October 30th. And is available in bookstores now. I'd like to thank Pen and Sword for the opportunity to read this as an arc, which I got from NetGalley. So this book is a kind of a twin biography of these two Eleanors, and actually there are more Eleanors that pop up in this book. It feels like they weren't really creative with a lot of their naming. So you have this kind of the story of these two women, and in fact, really, it's actually more of the story of King Henry III's reign, more than I feel it is a biography of these two women, because it almost all of this whole biography kind of centers around what's going on in England around like King Henry's throne, not necessarily what's going on around the two women that is being discussed, but more like here they are, but this is how they also blend in with the other parts of the court. Unlike, say, for example, the earlier biography I read about Sophia, it was kind of about her and then like everything else happening around her. This is more like here's Henry's court, and then here are these two women in his court. And the reason I think the author kind of did this is because there isn't a lot of their own. There's not a lot written about them, especially their earlier lives, because their lives are kind of seen through the biographers back then. Their lives are seen through kind of the through their husbands, Henry III and Simon de Montfort. And generally when, for example, with the Queen, who was Eleanor of Provence, she was the wife of King Henry III. She actually, when she is talked about as a queen, a lot of it isn't not all that good. But basically, this book is about these two women. One, Eleanor of Provence, ends up marrying King Henry III, and Eleanor de Montfort ends up marrying one of the king's like best friends turned enemy, Simon de Montfort. And it basically talks about how these two women went about their court lives. So, for example, like Eleanor of Provence, she was the queen of England, and she acted like the Queen of England. She didn't take a subservient role as much of the biographers of the day of King Henry, or were writing about the times, thought that she would. And they have like letters of like of men at court, not men at court, but I think one was a priest telling her that she should like kind of like step back and kind of like let the guys take care of it. But instead, she like steps forward when the king is not able to fulfill his duties, because I think he was away at the time. She actually oversees a parliament, which are like she oversees a parliament that was like one of the first, was unique because the members of the parliament, some of them are actually elected democratically by people from the areas they came from, rather than just being like, oh, you're a noble, you're invited. So that was something. So she kind of ruled in her own right, and some people didn't like that, especially since she was quote unquote foreign. She was from France, or at least the area we would now consider France. So there was some suspicion about her and her family and things like that. But it basically talks about how she goes into how she, did what she did to protect her family and kind of hold the kingdom together in her own way. And then Eleanor de Montfort, she marries the king, like they said, the king's friend turned enemy. And most of the story, because she is the king's sister, and basically, when you meet her, she marries someone, but then he dies, and then she takes a vow of widowhood, which means she's never going to marry again, but indeed she does. And then most of her life is spent trying to get what's hers, because she's owed a dowry, and there are a lot of guys who come along who say, I'm not going to pay what she's supposed to get, and the king and her are either she's fighting the king to get what she wants, or she's getting her brother to help her get what she wants. So a lot of her life was spent trying to get money that was actually hers. And then her husband got involved with that, and she basically was helping him when he was in trouble with her brother, and he's fighting her brother. She was supporting him and things like that. So the lives of these women were nowhere near, they weren't just domesticated, sit at home, not do, their husbands do everything. These women were very much involved in the running of their households, and when their husband needed help, they were there to step up or even push the agenda for the husband forward, in their own right. Yeah, I just kind of wish that the biography could have been. I felt like the biographies of these two women could have been centered more around them themselves than like it felt like more like a history of King Henry's reign than like a biography of these two women. But then, like I said, maybe because the source material isn't really about the two women, it's more about Henry and him fighting Simon de Montfort and things like that. So I give this book a 3.5 out of 5 stars. At times it could get a little dry, and there were some times I felt like I had kind of like slawed through. But it is a interesting biography of these two women. Definitely didn't really know much about them. I only knew about their husbands. But knowing the roles that they played in, and especially in Queen Eleanor's part, she played a very important part in the development of the parliament that you see in England today. So it was really interesting to learn more about these two women. So if you're interested, so I think you'll like this if you're interested in either this time period, interested in biographies of women from this time period. I think this would be the good book for you. So, if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you want to see more videos from me, please subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at GhostReads28, on Instagram at Justin the Ghost Reader, and also on Goodreads. The link to that is down in the description box below. So, as always, keep reading.